so many hurdles. Have you? Yeah. I prayed and waited on him for so long. And I was at the verge of quitting. Then you came through. You said, I'll record my story and show the world my glory and show them who I really am. So then it can be your story and teach them of my glory and show them what I'm gonna do. So don't you think of falling? Someone might have been through us. Hey, and you're not alone. When you're struggling, I'm behind you. When you're crying, we are there. When you're sleeping, don't you worry, 'cause only time will tell. It will all be well. Couldn't find the light at the end of the tunnel that I heard of. Nilipoteza amani lakini nikapata imani moyoni. Not everyone that smiles is smiling. But dear brothers and sisters, although I think Bob make you no worry, 'cause he said, no, I'll record my story and show the world my glory, show them who I really am. So then it can be your story and teach them of my glory, show them what I'm gonna do. So don't you think I'm falling? Someone might have been through us. Hey, and you're not alone. When you're struggling, I'm behind you. When you're crying, we are there. When you're sleeping, don't you worry, 'cause only time will tell. Broken hearts, crying eyes, sour lips around us, lots of bloodshed, but nothing has changed. We need each other, and we've got this order to love. So let's love. I'll record my story, show the world my glory, show them who I really am. So then it can be your story, teach them of my glory, and show them what I'm gonna do. So don't you think I'm falling? Someone might have been through us. Hey, and you're not alone. When you're struggling, I'm behind you. When you're crying, we are there. You can sleep and don't you worry, 'cause only time will tell. 'Cause only time will tell. Yeah, 'cause only time will tell. 'Cause only time will tell.
You guys, I was just in trance. Like, I didn't know what to say, but oh my gosh, that's just, I don't know what to say right now. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, Riwo. Leshan, Melafrique.
Yes.
Melafrique is in the house. Thank you so much for this piece. It's amazing. The richness in the song.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Crazy, the richness in the song. Talks so much about, life itself. How did you start singing?
So I was born into a very musical family. So both my parents were in the choir before they gave birth to me. Like everyone in my family, well, most people in my family sing or have like a vast knowledge of music. So I grew up listening to a lot of like different kinds of music, like from gospel to country to pop, everything. Because my mom specifically had like a lot of different tastes. So like I would listen to Kenny Rogers one day and then like her playlist was like Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, Lionel Richie, Kirk, and then all the gospels. So I think my love for music came from there. Just like there was always music playing in the house. Like my room would be listening to something and then my auntie in the other room is listening. Like it was really like that. So my love for music, I think, is really from my family. I started singing, like I'd been like singing and writing random things from a kid, and then professionally, my first work was when I was 13. But like I think I've been doing music my whole life.
I just love when I listen to people with a falsetto. That like it's amazing, right? Something that is very difficult for people to do, and you're doing it. And your guitar, man, I always love your guitar every time.
Thank you.
Yeah, did you start playing that as well when you were young, or?
No. For me, I was introduced to music kind of the same way my parents. Like, both my parents have a very diverse like taste in music. So my dad was the Kenny Rogers and the cowboy hat.
Yeah, for sure.
My mom on the other side loved a lot more like funk. So she was listening to people like the Whispers, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson. So like literally listening to all these types of artists in the house. And then I was introduced to live music through church. So just going to church and seeing people perform and play. I never got to play in church for a long time, but I was introduced to them. And then when I went to school, I picked up classical music. So I was piano lessons and cello. I actually started on the cello. And then guitar came in my last year of high school. So I was already 18 when I was starting guitar, which is pretty late for like a musician. And then bass, which is my primary instrument now, was the year after that, 19. So that's how I got introduced to music, and that was 1 year before I moved to Canada at 19. So when I came to Canada, I was very basic in terms of my guitar and bass skills, I guess.
So when you say you moved to Canada, where are you from?
I am originally from Kenya, born and raised in Nairobi. Best city in the world.
The song she was singing, she actually put some Swahili in it, right? Okay, that was really good. But you're from Nigeria. That was
from Nigeria,
that was amazing there. Because I could hear some Swahili.
It's good that you can hear. Like,
that was really good. That was really good. It's good to have a mix. So people can feel they belong, right? When you guys are singing, that's really great.
And the lyric there the lyric in that particular part is nilipoteza amani, lakini nikapata imani moyoni, which means I lost my peace at some point, but I found faith in my heart that allowed me to continue.
That song has so much richness because it also talks about when people are smiling, they are not smiling.
They're not really smiling.
That's like
deep.
That's like really deep. That's deep. So what does that song mean to you?
It's a very, very personal song for both of us, I think, because like so he composed the instrumental and then I wrote the lyrics, but at the time we were both really, really going through like a tough time. We were both in school, just like new to Canada, just struggling.
Yeah.
But I think what even makes that song, and you use the word rich, which is cool, like I love that. I don't think anyone has used that word.
That's
so
true.
like what makes it even richer is that I think the song is for us.
Oh.
It was for us in that time, and now it can be for so many other people.
Yes.
Because like the song is called Not Alone, and like it talks about like the importance of sharing your story, because you never know who's going through something similar. And in that time, our stories are different, but like we were going through like a similar struggle, very similar struggle. So like just that reminder that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Because like even at the time, like we had friends around us. Like I had people around me, but I often felt very alone.
Yeah.
So that song was really for us in that time as a reminder.
Yeah.
You're not alone, like no matter what you're going through.
Yeah.
And that line you spoke about, like not everyone that smiles is smiling.
Yeah.
I had a friend tell me once that I'm very good at hiding my pain behind smiles.
Yeah, it's very true.
And I think a lot of people do that. Like you'd never really know what someone is really going through until you have a conversation. So yeah, there's a lot of elements in there that I think many people can pick things from and relate to, and that's what makes it special.
Yes, and that's very important because it's kind of like a gospel to a lot of people, like you said. And when they really listen to the song, we have to be intentional in speaking to people and really having conversations. Sometimes people just say hi and that's it. And you don't know what that person is feeling, and that the next day you hear, you know, they've done something, or maybe they've taken their life and all that. That's very important for the world to know. Yeah. And that song is my number one. Thank you. So you guys are Melafrique group band. So I wanted to know, where does this name come from, and how did it come about? Melafrique.
Madam.
So I came up with the name based on the direction that Leshan had at the time, or the vision he had at the time. So when Melafrique first started, it was myself, Leshan, and Ari, one of our keyboard players. And the idea was, so like Leshan is from Kenya, I'm from Nigeria, Ari is from Angola. So we had this like multinational African group, but the music we liked to create wasn't necessarily African. So the idea was like, let's show people that Africans can do different kinds of music, and like really educate people on Africa. Because like a lot of times there's a very myopic view on what the continent is like and what the people are like. So we were having a conversation in our basement, I think, at the time. And I was like, okay, let's call it Melafrique, because Ari speaks French. I'm like, Africa in French, melanin, you know, dark skin. So that's honestly where it came from. It was just like a light bulb, Melafrique. And then I think the first thing I did was to check on Instagram, like, is this name taken? And it was taken, but...
It was taken?
Yeah, there's one...
There's one person.
One person that has the Melafrique. Or at the time, one person had the name. But I'm like, I don't know if it means the same thing as ours, but that's... So like our name now has the underscore and we can't change it. But but that's where the idea for the name came. It really was like a light bulb moment.
Oh, that's very
as soon as she said it, it was like, me and Ari just approved it immediately. It wasn't
that's the
like,
one.
oh yeah, that's exactly the one.
Because that's the moment. It's a divine moment, right? Because it was given to you to do it and to be part of this. It's like you, right? And it's brilliant. Melanin, Africa. I love it. It's beautiful. It actually tells the story on its own. So have you registered the name, or?
Yes. So we have the name. She looks at me because
you have not.
We haven't registered as an official company, but we have the name in Nuance. So the name is taken by us, so no one else can take it.
Okay, you've trademarked.
So we have the name, and now We have the website and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So all the legal stuff. The person who had Melafrique at that time, it was a personal page. It was like literally they don't really use Instagram at all.
Okay.
It's more like if I call myself cute boy. And it's like that,
And somebody takes
yeah,
it.
someone else says yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the composition of your group, how many people are you and where each, I know you from Nigeria, Kenya.
Yeah. So we're 7. So I'm from Kenya, Nairobi. She's from Nigeria. She's not from Lagos. She's from Port Harcourt.
Oh, she's from Bottom.
have to clarify.
And then we have Ari, who is from Angola,
Yeah.
born and raised in Luanda. We went to school in Congo. And then we have Enoch, he is from Ghana, born in Ghana, raised in Ivory Coast and the US.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah. And then we have Nathan Hackett, who plays keyboards. I should say this. Ari plays keys.
Yeah.
Enoch plays guitar. Nathan Hackett is our second keyboard player. He's born and raised in Jamaica. I can't remember which parish. So parishes are like provinces, Ochorios, I think. They're like provinces in Canada. So he's from, I think Ochorios is the parish he's from.
Yeah.
He moved here in 2019. So he's like fresh Jamaican. Very. Then we have Dominic, who plays percussion, who's also born and raised in Jamaica. He moved here when he was 14 years old. Then he moved to Toronto. So he's born and raised in Jamaica, grew up in Toronto, and then moved to Edmonton recently. And then Trey Chisholm Lynn, he's our drummer. His dad is originally Jamaican, but he is born and raised in Canada. So he's our Canadian rep. Yeah, he's originally from Toronto, and he also moved here. So him and Dominic are really, they're like brothers, and they moved here together. Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys is like, you know, you each one of you has a story. As an immigrant, as you know, somewhere coming from somewhere. Yeah. Was it very difficult to, like, really be, you know, have that chemistry that you now have?
Well, Riwo and I wouldn't say it was. We became friends first.
Yeah.
So we met in school, in university at the U of A, in the first month of being in Canada. We came to Canada at the same time, so 2015, August.
You were international student?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's not, I still am, but that's a story for another day.
Let's not say much about that.
Not too much.
So 2015 is when we moved here. So September is when we met. And funny story how we met. We met at a different place, but the funny story I like to say is I went to visit her. Her roommate is from Tanzania. And so I was looking for people who spoke Swahili. Because I'm like, man, this place.
You really wanted to speak
Swahili. I really want to speak Swahili. I can't find anyone else to speak Swahili
That is
with.
nice.
I'm like, I need to find a Kenyan. If I can't find a Kenyan, I'll settle for Tanzania. It's fine. Because the Swahili in Tanzania is very it's like British English. So I'm like,
proper.
This one I'll be trying to speak. I don't, but it's okay. So I found a Tanzanian friend, and that happened to be Riwo's roommate. So I went to visit her, and I was like, yeah, we were just talking. And then Riwo was on Skype at the time, because that was the thing.
That was the thing, the Skype.
She was on Skype talking to her friends, one from Nigeria, one from Australia, another one from the US. So they were all like together. I think there were multiple from Nigeria, I can't remember, but there was a few girls on that call. So when I heard her speak, right, this is not the first time, but when I heard her speak in that very, very Nigerian accent, the only thing I could remember was Africa Magic, which was the SCV. And that was very.
I just want to say that's not what Nigerians are like.
That's all I could think about. I'm
one
like,
tribe.
Africa Magic. Wow, she sounds exactly like people on TV. Because I never really met a Nigerian person before.
That's so funny.
Like in real life.
Yeah.
So hearing the accent, I'm just saying, wow, really authentic. Like,
Yeah.
just the same as it.
Yeah.
And so all I knew was Oga. That's what I used to hear them say all the time. Right?
Oga.
So as soon as I heard her speak, I went to the laptop and I said, Oga, to all those people there. Very like, we don't even know each other that well. But very clowning, like very funny. Anyway, then we became friends. Yeah. And so the relationship we have began before the music.
Oh, that's good.
And then when I heard her sing, I was like, yeah, I'm ready. That's who we need
checkmate.
to. Yeah. And then we just started doing shows together at just the two of us at school. And then I was tired of playing piano. We looked for a keyboard player. Ari was the person recommended, and once the three of us got together, we formed Melafrique at that time. Yeah.
And then, like, since then, the band has morphed over time. So, like, we started, if you have been following Melafrique since the beginning, then you know we've had different members at different points. So after Ari, the iteration that we know now, the next person was Enoch, and then Nathan, then Trey and Dominic are the newest people.
So you guys are like the core group.
Yeah.
That started. So pioneers, I guess. Pioneers, I guess. But now you like sing in that, because I meet you in events in the community and all that. I think it's a very good thing that you do that. What inspires you most when you sing in the community and sharing your music?
I can go. I think there's something special about like interacting with people through music and like just feeding off of each other's energies, I guess.
Yeah.
Edmonton has been really good to us, well, to me, just in terms of like the reception of Melafrique and of Riwo. And so even when I'm not performing and just attending events, like it's nice to be in a place where I feel welcome. But when I am performing, like there's something just special about singing and seeing people like drawn to tears or like really paying attention to the words I'm saying. It feels like I'm like giving back, but not really. Because like music is...
No, you're giving back.
Yeah, I am. I guess I am. Like music is something that is... It transcends like just the physical. Like it's really... on a spiritual level, like it does things to people. So like to be able to connect with people in that way, and like I have really, really good friends now that I met through like just the community and just like from performing, people coming to talk to me after and just like really just sharing their lives with me. So there is something special in that.
Yeah. And you?
And I would just add, like to, sharing a piece of basically your soul with people is very vulnerable, but at the same time, when it's received, it's very connective. So you get this relationship built just from stage to person. You don't even have to connect physically, but they just go home with this sense of change. The songs we like to do are very uplifting, are very powerful, I would say. So the messages and the people who listen to what we're saying are very inspired.
Yeah.
And that's one of the ways we've thought about giving back to community, is making sure we're doing that and playing our part to make sure people are inspired as they're going home. But on top of that, we wanted to, because in my mind, that's good, but we want to do more. We want to actually be part of the community and support other artists, other people. So, putting shows together where we have like the youth opening. They're the first people to come and perform. We have a stage. We have a platform, we have people who like to listen to us, and using that to now raise the next generation. And we want to do even more by like building, making sessions where we teach how we come up with our process, how to songwrite, how to do the music, how to perform, those types of things are now what we're looking to do in the future. But community is very important. One of the things about Melafrique, none of us is from Edmonton. No one in the band is from here. But now we all call this place home. And we are continuing to call this place home. We're not planning to move, we're planning to leave. We could go to Toronto, to LA, all these other places, but we're never going to live there. We want to always have our home in Edmonton. That's one of the things as Melafrique we have decided together.
So Edmonton, you've gained how many people? 7? Yes. Melafrique, the amazing group, the amazing band. You talked about the importance of music, sharing with the community and everyone around you. I know there's quite challenges sometimes when you're singing and you're sharing and all that. Being from Africa, I wanted to ask you because I was telling somebody just today about me being an accountant and then changing to what I'm doing now and all that. Sometimes they're like, how did you, how, from here to there and all that. Have you had those challenges or those negative feedback you went to university, what course did you do?
I did criminology, so it's not related.
It's
to
not
music
related
at
to
all.
music. And sometimes, you know, back home, especially if back home, which is Africa, sometimes it's like you have to be a lawyer, you have to be an accountant, or you have to be a doctor, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, how do you break that barrier in those stereotype kind of thing?
Yeah. Everybody's different and everybody's family is different. I am lucky enough to have parents that are very understanding.
Yeah.
I like to tell people my parents are not the typical Nigerian parents. Because like for me, like when I moved to U of A, I started in computing science. I think I even had a scholarship at one point. Yeah, honors. Because like, wow, it was a very prestigious degree. It is a very prestigious degree to graduate from. But I was struggling so much, but I was still doing music at the same time. So like, I've always been doing music from the beginning, through all the struggles. So naturally, my parents were concerned. At one point, my dad even told me, you know what, I don't care what you do. Come get a degree. We know you're gonna do music anyway, so just get a degree. Like, just so you have it. And that is often the case. Like I think a lot of immigrants might have this story, but like, we hold education very highly. Because there's this belief that once you have that paper, then you can go far in life. And that is true for most people and for the most part. But I think my parents realized very early on that music is like a serious passion of mine. So they were very supportive in like me doing music. My mom and dad never told me, you need to stop doing music and focus on this school thing. And that is why I say I'm lucky, because I know some of my friends that had to like stop their passions and just focus on school. But they told me, the one thing they told me was to make sure I just finish as strongly as I could. So once I was done with school, like there was no question. Like my parents knew. My parents knew I was going
to be like,
yeah. And like I still work in the criminology field, but like I think when people see that you are serious about your passion and it's something you're actively pursuing, it's hard to tell you no. It's hard to like sway you away from it. So like I'm still very much in my early stages of my career, but like I've always like actively pursued it. And so even now I have 2 jobs, one as a musician and one as a social services worker, but like music has always been there and I've always tried to pursue it as seriously as I can. So there's been struggles, especially when I was struggling with school, but like I've always known, no matter what, like I'm not gonna give up this thing. So yeah, that's my story. I feel like you have a different perspective.
Let's hear it.
For me, my relationship with my parents was always, you know, come and get your degree, the standard thing, you know, come and do engineering. That was my field. I was told, getting an engineering degree. Cool. So I came here, did 2 years, failed. And then I said, man, I'm struggling. I really can't do this thing. Switched to computing science. My mom, first question she asked me, so if you don't do engineering and you do this computing science thing, what will they call you? What's your title? Because if it's not engineer,
African
doctor,
parents, they just make me
if it's not Esquire, what?
What exactly is your title?
Scientist? Hey. I said, I mean, I don't know what they'll call me, but how much a computer science person makes, like, this is how much. She was like, okay, maybe. And so I tried computing science. I liked it, but I didn't like what we were doing I wasn't interested in what the program was teaching me, but I liked the idea of coding and all that stuff. Anyway, so fast forward, I'm still in school. I'm taking my finance degree, but I work as an analyst, a business and data analyst. That's my side hustle.
Your side hustle. Because your main hustle is music.
My music. And I've been doing music since I started a company before I moved to Canada. So in Kenya, as soon as I finished high school, when I was 19, this is why my parents know I'm serious about music. As soon as I finished high school at 18, it was 18, I just told them, I'm going to do this thing, and I'm not going to ask you for money. I'll just do this thing. So I started this business, started doing shows in Kenya, playing my cello, got other people, we started doing different events, got to the point where we were playing on a music video for the biggest stars in Kenya. When my parents saw that video, they were like, eh. It was only 1 year, you know, like I'd only been there for 1 year. So they haven't really ever told me not to do it.
Yeah.
But they've always, the same idea. It's like, you've gone to Canada, go and finish this degree that you went to do. If you're going to do anything else, fine. You've proven yourself time and time again that if you put your mind to something, you're going to achieve it. So if music is what you want to do, go ahead and do it. But as long as you finish this degree that we sent you for, which I'm done in December. So it's...
Yeah, kudos to you. What advice would you give to either parents or some youth that are struggling with choosing their career path? There's so many that have problems. I've come across a lot of kids that, you know, start with one thing, and by the time they finish, they've gone through three, four programs. So how did you manage to just like, okay, let me now do finance, or let me do criminology, and you know, and of course your mind, because one thing comes naturally to you, which is music. So how do you now, you know, what advice would you give to them?
To someone, I think honestly speaking, to both parents and to youth, I would say you need to really listen. It's cliche, listen to your heart, but honestly, you need to understand what you want to do. Like that passion, the thing that drives you, the thing that keeps you up at night.
Yeah.
If you follow that thing, you're never going to go wrong. I don't have much experience in life yet, but I feel very strongly about that statement. Because I wouldn't say I have wasted time, but if I knew, and because I knew, but if I decided to just go through and do music completely, I think I would be a few steps further than I am right now.
Yeah.
Because I've taken some of that time and allocated it to something else that I may never do in the future. But I mean, it has been a learning experience, and that's good, and we learn on this journey. But I think it's very important to pay attention to what you really want in this life. And a lot of us, by the time you're 18, 20, like, you know, it's in your spirit. Maybe it's suppressed.
You know, it's suppressed.
Maybe your parents have said, oh, you can't, that's why it's suppressed, or maybe, but you have this innate feeling, like, you know that I want to be an artist. You know I want to be an engineer. Like, no fault. There are people who want to be doctors, and they know that they want to be doctors.
Yes.
That's, and the best thing is, when you know you want to be a doctor, African parent will very much encourage you, you know? So, and then that's how, like, very good doctors, like, they'll get there, you know, because they've been given that push since they were younger. It just happens that the artsy and the people, it's very suppressed. So it's not as
It's not very supported.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would say parents need to start listening to their youth a little bit more.
Yeah.
As much as you have life experience and all that, this world has really changed. A lot of things have evolved. So, you know, you can be successful in anything. Honestly, as long as someone puts their mind to it, just focus there and keep going. But one thing I want to give my parents a round of applause, because they allowed me to do a lot of things since I was young. Like, I was put in taekwondo, in music, in so many different things that I actually knew, oh yeah, music is what I want to do. I knew when I was young.
But it's good you
Exactly, because I was allowed to try. If I didn't try taekwondo, I wouldn't know that, man, this taekwondo thing is not for me.
It's not for me.
Or I would have never really known that taekwondo might have been for me. You know, it's being given that allowance. I did competitive swimming since I was 6.
Wow.
And I was very good at it. I could literally go on and go into the Olympics if I wanted. But the Michael Phelps of Kenya if I wanted. But I chose to do music because I was more passionate about that particular field.
But you know, one funny thing, you guys, it's like you both were at the university, and they didn't offer music degrees, or why did you go into that?
That's funny. So they did. I actually applied, I won't say to school, but like, I feel like if you're smart, you know the school. But I applied to a music program and I didn't get in because my grades from my computer science degree were very bad. Oh. So I think it painted this picture that I'm just a bad student. So I think that's what happened. So I didn't get in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely thought about it. And I'm actually glad I didn't because I think school at the time was a lot of work and I had a lot of like resentment.
Yeah.
So maybe I feel like maybe
you would have felt
I would have had that for music as well. Yeah. So I'm glad I didn't get in at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely explored that option.
Mine was also very real. Like, so first year I was quitting. I told my dad, I don't want to do this engineering thing. And he said, you know what, whatever you want to do, I'll support it. But this is only the conversation I had with my dad. So I told him I'm going to do music. I've already applied. I have like an audition. Cool. He said, all right, no problem. I went and I spent some money with my friends celebrating that I'm not going to be doing engineering. And then had a conversation when my mom called me now. And she said, what's this nonsense I'm hearing about?
Oh my goodness. I want to meet your parents.
So then immediately my life turned back to normal and I wasn't going to music school. But I would have gone to music school. Yeah. But I'm glad honestly, I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Because experience has been a very good teacher. Yes. We've learned a lot about music, about the music industry.
Working with people.
Yeah, I don't think if I went to music school, like that formal education that you learn, like I had a lot of that formal background already, like how to write charts and like reading music. I already knew how to do that.
Yeah.
The part that music school helps, and most school, if people go to university for the right reason, is to connect with other people. That connection piece, other than being a doctor, if you go to school for any other degree, connection is a very big thing, part of the industry. But I don't think people take advantage of that, especially in the music school side of things. So we learned that very early in our game. And so we started connecting with a lot of people. Literally, professors at the university are some of our friends, which is amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's good. I know we are running out of time, but what time do you create? How, like, because you guys are busy. What time do you create music? How do you write your own music? I know I wanted to tell her today because there was a time I went to one event and my friends and, we were dancing and we were going, and there was one song that was not played by you guys, and we were playing all the songs, and then we said, oh, Brenda Fassie. And then somebody said, no, they've never played this song. And then I think she said, no, it's okay, we can do it. And then you said you can do it. Yeah. And I think it was your first time. And she belted it out. And it was amazing. Vulindel. It was amazing. And that's how I knew that, she's such a natural. And you guys, you played it, and it was amazing. So you're busy. And what time do you create? What time do you even... I know you eat music.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So when we can, we take time. Like we've done this recently as well. Just taking a few days away from everything to just like record demos, write new stuff together. Individually, I think that's when most of the work happens. So like Ari is our primary producer. Enoch and I write most of the music. So oftentimes like we would create something like based on inspiration. Like for me, it's just like whenever inspiration hits, even if I don't write the song right away, I just record it.
Yeah.
And then most of the time I would send it to our group and then we'd see if this is a great song for Melafrique, and then we develop it as time goes on. Some songs take longer than others. But the good thing about being in a group that is efficient is someone will always remember. Someone will always bring it back up if I forget. But yeah, so like I was telling you earlier, I mostly do music now. So even when I'm not performing, like I'm taking time to actually work on stuff that I'm creating or would like to develop further. And then when we can, we do that together. So we try to rehearse every week.
Okay.
And sometimes in that rehearsal, like we spend like 1 hour, 2 hours just like game planning or workshopping like songs. that we need to workshop at the time, even when we don't have shows. So we're constantly doing stuff behind the scenes, which keeps it flowing.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, if you look at a band of 7 people, that's like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, wow, 7, how do you even make money at all? But also, on the flip side, having a band of 7 people allows the team, again, to be an effective team.
Yes.
So if you have people designated to doing certain things, other people can do other things so that they don't have to worry too much. So like songwriting, she's good at songwriting. Enoch is great at songwriting. So now both of them sit together and they can write songs faster than I would ever dream of writing, even if I can, you know? But on the business end of things, if we're signing contracts and doing deals and booking shows, they don't have to worry about that. They just know when the show is.
Yes.
They just need to give me the availability. I deal all the contracts, negotiations, all that stuff. Then make sure everyone is happy with the pay, and we're good. Someone else is focused on producing the beats. Someone else is focused on making sure we have a car, a hotel, all that stuff when we're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that allows us to really create this room for now creation, right? So our rehearsals, again, sometimes are creation, sometimes are practice. Like right now, we're not doing any shows until December.
Oh, nice.
So we're spending a lot of time.
You can come and sing in this studio.
We're spending a lot of time creating for an album we have coming up.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Okay, now that's my next question. What next? What are you doing?
There's a lot coming up.
Yeah.
There's a lot. So the first thing that is coming up very soon is we have a trip, our first international show. We're going to Nigeria.
Woo. What?
Yeah, I get to go home.
She initiated the whole thing.
Free trip for her.
I actually didn't, that's the funny thing.
No. Since 2018, we've been working with a lady called Titulope Shonuga. She's the former Edmonton Poet Laureate.
Oh, yeah, I know her.
Yes, so in 2019, we did an album together. The album is called Swim. We recorded all the music. A lot of the poetry was written by her, but the song lyrics were written by Riwo and Enoch, and the music composed again and performed by the band. And now we're doing a second album, but we've been performing shows with her, and her shows are called Open. So she's done Open Edmonton, Open Calgary. We've done those two. Then she did Open London, Open Lagos, Open Abuja, Open different places. But now finally, in all those other places, she was working with other musicians. But she loves working with Melafrique. We did the album together, all that stuff. And now Canada Council accepted a grant to take all of us with her to Lagos, Nigeria. So we have the opportunity to be in Lagos in December.
Yes.
And we will be performing our set as well. Like we'll be performing as Melafrique to the Lagos audience. And then we'll also do with Titi as well.
Are you going to Port Harcourt?
No. We're just going to Lagos.
But you're not going to go?
Oh, I'm going to go. After the show.
All of us are planning trips after that. I'm going home after that.
Oh, you're going to Kenya.
Might as well,
That's also the first time she's going.
I haven't been back since I moved here, so this is very exciting for me.
And it's my second time. I went in 2017, so 6 years now that I haven't been back home. But so we're going to Lagos. That's the first thing that's coming up. The next thing that we have coming up, so Riwo also has her solo career, which is hand in hand with the Melafrique career, and she has some things.
I do have an album coming up. I got a grant from ESE to create my first album. So the next single from the album is actually dropping on Friday.
Wow.
And then the album itself will be out in January.
Wow.
Yeah. So that will be the next thing when we come back. And then we're going to do a release show, and I will announce the details once I figure that out.
Yeah, congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
Big things happening, and as Edmontonians, we are very proud of you guys. And we really want you to continue and wish you all the best in whatever you're doing. I would have loved to go to Nigeria with you guys, but, I don't have a visa. I've been to Ghana, though.
Oh, wow.
I'm from Zambia, but I went to Ghana as well to do some stuff for Fusing.
Okay.
And, this is a good moment to go west of Africa in December. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
But before we actually close our conversation, I just want the viewers to know where they can find you, and of course, just emphasize on the things that are coming up as well.
Okay.
So.
Once again, our name is Melafrique, which is MEL and then Africa in French. You can find us, one word. You can find us on Instagram, which is Melafrique_, on Facebook @Melafrique. can find us on Twitter, or X, I guess, as Melafrique.
_
TikTok, Melafrique _ Melafrique.band.
Yes.
Yes. And then we have a website, melafrique.com, where all our details are there, and Riwo updates that lovely. So it looks amazing. And yes, we'll be going to Lagos December 10th to the 17th. We're performing December 17th. Riwo's album is coming out Friday, October 20th. Riwo's single is coming out, New Day. Check that out. But yeah, we are Melafrique, and stay tuned to Fuse in Who I Am.
Yeah, Melafrique in the house. Once again, this is Tapestry with Miriam on Fusing my channel, and we are so glad to have Melafrique in the house, and tune in very soon to listen to the many good things that they have. Melafrique, once again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.